Hi everybody, I'm Rob Perry from Alation, and I lead the team supporting our great client and partner, American Airlines. We want to thank you very much for coming to this session on behalf of Alation and Databricks. We'd also like to welcome you to our booth number 314, out on the floor, and come by and talk to us afterwards. I want to introduce Anu Maradapu. Anu leads the team for data governance and engineering at American Airlines, and today she's going to talk about our Better Together story with Databricks. Anu.
Thank you, Rob. Hi, I think are you all able to hear me all right? Thank you for the thumbs up. My name is Anu. I lead the data governance and engineering team at American Airlines. Data governance sits within the data engineering, analytics, and automation organization within the IT department. My responsibilities include technical implementation of data governance platform, as well as establishing and implementing a data governance program, a robust data governance program at American. Today I'll be talking about, in this session, how building an enterprise data catalog can help accelerate the data governance program and empower our business stewards to democratize the data for better and insightful business decisions. Before diving into the topic, a little about background about American. American employs globally about 130,000 plus employees. Yes, as per 2025 Freddie Awards, American won the Best Airline Redemption Ability, Best Airline Customer Service, and Best Loyalty Credit Card. Apart from employing about 130,000 plus employees, you all are aware, a global airline, we are spread across the globe with the network all across, and servicing millions of customers across the globe. So you can imagine we host huge amounts of data within the company. Across various domains, we capture data from customer data to operations data to revenue management, baggage, cargo data, everything related to a customer and employee. And this airline data is very complex. It's huge amount plus complex amounts of data. We've had a long history of using technology and data together. In the last few years, we've gone through a cloud migration, and this has enabled scalability for the data. Access to the data became powerful and faster. With that, our data has grown exponentially. It was imperative for us to have a data governance in place. I believe data governance is a practice. It is implemented by people using accurate information through governed processes enabled by technology. And what we did is, our approach to data governance was to embed it within the data strategy and implement it. So we came up with our data governance vision is to embed the core data disciplines of data governance in processes with a mindset to foster a data fuel culture that allows us to maximize the value of our data. Our whole goal was maximizing the value of our data through governance processes. As I said before, airline data is very complex. Handling this complex data while delivering at speed in a modernized world with self-service abilities environment comes with its own challenges. And most of these challenges eventually leads down to one big issue, the data gap. Data gaps as seen by the user. Speed to data access created multiple data sources of redundant data. Data is difficult to find, and even if you found the data through tribal knowledge or through finding out the SME who has the knowledge on the data, the technical data assets and field names associated with it was missing the connection to business terms, connection to business definitions. And if we found the data through tribal knowledge and tried to have conversations, there were multiple definitions of same metrics that existed and very unclear data definitions. So eventually this all led to inconsistencies in reporting. Getting to the right data quickly was a challenge. it impacted to high costs of data management. A well-designed data governance fits an organization needs both in present and in the future. With the governance embedded into our data strategy, our goal is focused on three main things: increase the data availability, drive data trust, and reduce time and cost. So how are we trying to do this? Increase data availability by gaining efficiencies in our data processes, increasing the adoption of our governance, documenting the data availability, and driving trust by empowering our data domain experts, providing them with tools and processes so they can focus on data insights, improve our data awareness, and ensure consistency in understanding and the usage of the data. Reducing time and cost by providing standardized data policies and standardized procedures, reduce rework on our data stewards, and establish data accountability. With these goals in mind, we strive to create a wow experience for the data and lead a data-first culture. So what we did is, through this journey of conversations of data strategy, embedding governance into the data strategy, we started collaborating with our business partners. We closely collaborated with business partners and introduced a data governance program that can be scalable and applied across our domains, what we call data communities today in our org, but with an intent to initially focus on a small piece called our customer data. We partnered with our customer data business partners and implemented this using them as our first minimum viable governance. How did we do this? We focused on tools powered with processes and enabled a data catalog for the stewards. Today we use Databricks to engineer and ingest our data into the data lake. Migrating to Unity Catalog enhanced the metadata capture. And the integration to Unity Catalog with Alation fueled our journey on data governance, and this was better supported, it's supported to have a better data catalog as well. That led to easy data discovery. With this integration, we were able to create comprehensive documentation on our customer domain data. Data governance office, in collaboration with this customer team, we identified critical data elements and robustly cataloged them in Alation. Our customer team were our greatest partners through this journey. Together, we created an MVP process, minimum viable process, to curate the data in Alation. Then, this removed the confusion around the data, around the customer data that is available, what data is available, who can answer deeper questions into this data, into this customer data. Then it also led towards this processes, comprehensive documentation. This journey led us towards establishing data ownership. We introduced a community model to empower our data stewards. We defined clear roles and responsibilities. Through the stewardship processes and roles and responsibilities, our stewards helped us achieve a very proactive and collaborative governance. Governance is not an IT-led initiative. It is in collaboration with our business partners, meeting the business outcomes. Customer team has extensively cataloged and curated the data now. Ensuring data governance. As you can see, this is already embedded when you have the accountability and ownership. With Databricks Unity Catalog, the technical metadata being automatically generated, and connecting this Databricks Unity Catalog to our Alation, it just processed all the metadata into Alation. It created Lineage, easy metadata extraction without any manual process, with minimal manual processes, I should say. Our stewards now spend their time in curating the data, standardizing the data, and creating and keeping it consistent. So across the domains now, we could take this and scale it across our domains, creating this standardization. Data lineage is now available to discover the origin of data. We could see the movement of the data flows, and if there is any data issue like a data quality issue, that has the lineage and the integration of data quality tool to Alation has enabled us to see the impact of bad data upstream or downstream. This provided governance on a shared catalog. Coming to data literacy and understanding, data definitions across the customer data are now standardized, they are consistent, and in collaboration with governance office, our stewards facilitate sessions and stewardship forums to provide visibility into this data. Other stewards from other domains get to explore what has been done in the customer domain, what has been done in the catalog, and understand the data, and they could communicate with this data. I call this, in my own words, a data therapy session that is in place so people can just talk about data. So that's our journey at a high level, but why implement an enterprise data catalog? With the combination of Databricks Unity Catalog and Alation, we were able to bring 3 types of metadata into place: business metadata, technical metadata, and operational metadata. But imagine like pumping all the metadata into a tool. What does the value, right? What is the value of it? The value of metadata is in its usage. The more they use this metadata to drive insights, that increases the value of the metadata. So, and providing business context to this technical metadata, that helped us drive more impactful adoption to the catalog as well. By having automations like in place, automated metadata collection through these tools, automated data lineage visualizations using Alation and Unity Catalog, and providing some more automations, the data stewards were able to spend their time and not trying to find the data, but more around what can I do with this data? How can it bring more awareness around this data? Having business glossary in place, our subject matter experts define business terms. We could associate those business terms back to the column level, and those relating back to the master data. Business glossary and curation is extensively used today by our customer team, by our operations stewards, and also our sales stewards extensively. Integrating data catalog with data quality tool, as I said, we could see the data health tab in Alation. You could see the quality of the data, and if there was any issue around the quality, it would create a warning. It would show up as a warning, and that gave the users who came down to catalog to search data to understand that the data at that point in time is not ready for use. So now they could find out, reach out to the steward who owns that data, and could have conversations about it. So now the reporting data would have right data rather than inconsistent data and reporting. Another collaborative governance aspect that the catalog has really helped is assigning policies to our data assets. The data assets that are impacted by these policies. This makes our catalog very valuable, overall helping with policy implementation and tracking the data around policies and data retention. At a high level, I'll talk a little bit about our Databricks Unity Catalog presence through this diagram. The middle rectangle that you see is all our Databricks environment. We have the cloud infrastructure and cloud compute and storage layer sitting on top of it. Using Databricks, we ingest the data into the data lake. All our data engineering services, data streaming services pull data out of this data lake. That's the huge amounts of data that we host. Apart from that, all our data analytics and business intelligence and also our data science and ML models pull data from this data lake. So you can imagine the usage of the data today, right? Over the course of last year, we migrated to Unity Catalog, and Unity Catalog sits on top of the layers, compute and storage layer. Now that has helped us with extrapolating, bringing out the technical metadata and lineage and connecting this environment to data catalog, which is the top blue part, has just enabled us to have enterprise level catalog. Say it like catalog of catalogs is what people are calling now today. Apart from Databricks environment, we've also integrated Alation with our BI tools, our enterprise data warehouse, data sharing platform, and collaboration tools like Microsoft Teams for stewards and teams to have conversations. And on the left side, what you see is all the airline data, which already sits in the Databricks environment. Customer data, reservation data, this is just a few of them, but we have many other domains that are already integrated. Overall, Unity Catalog, our understanding and what we found out is it provides a unified and centralized governance solution for all the Databricks workloads, simplified and centralized access management, end-to-end lineage, that was a powerful one. The lineage service analyzes the logs emitted from the clusters, and it pulls the metadata and assembles the column and table level lineage, and this is presented to users in a graphical format, and that becomes really helpful when you want to see the flow of the data or the issues around the data and impact around upstream and downstream. It also provides observability through the system tables, and the SQL over Delta Lake capabilities is a very cost optimized way to query our data. To talk a little bit about our integration to Alation and collecting Alation to our existing other sources of data like BI tools, data share platforms, and collaboration tool, it made it easier to have an enterprise level data, making it efficient to the collaboration between Unity Catalog and Alation has made it efficient to extract the metadata and present it in a visually lineage format to the users. It created opportunities for stewardship activities, assignment of stewards to the data in the catalog. Now the data ownership could be advertised. We could put names of stewards to those data assets, and people could go search, find the data, and reach out. If there are more questions, reach out to the data steward or the data owner and have more conversations around the data which is not their domain. We started off our journey with basic level of curation. We didn't open the floodgates first. We just said, stewards, come over and have a basic level of curation. We identified what that could be, and we used some of the robotic process automation to bring the tribal knowledge that was sitting in their OneNote to bring it into Alation. And that way we could remove the redundant work, remove the manual work for the stewards, putting these kind of automations in place so they could go spend their time in curating the data, bringing the awareness to the data, and talking about their data to their counterparts. We also synced business descriptions from different sources to Alation, and using Alation analytics, we were able to generate some reports that could track the adoption of catalog. So now we know the processes that are put in place, the curation that is put in place, how is the speed, how is the growth around catalog happening. Data assets in Alation can be tagged with what policies they are associated with. So there is our compliance and policy management, and there Alation's AI-powered natural search language search that makes it very easy to find the data. Another advantage of this is not only it could discover the data, but it would the search would place the data, the most popular or most used data, at the top of the list. So that makes it easier for the user to find the data, but potentially for the data platform owners, we could find out the data that sits way in the bottom and it's not been used. I could now go have conversation with those data owners and say, if the data is not used, can we remove it from our data lake? That is another way of cost optimization. That's a potential cost savings around the data. We also used the business glossary feature extensively and had the customer data stewards to associate business terms to the existing catalog data. They also captured usage notes and change logs from stewards from their knowledge and created business-enriched change management, guiding all other data stewards. But the results of this is increasing our data availability, driving data trust, and reducing in time and cost towards the data. So with this, I'd like to leave you all with 3 key learnings. Bridging the data gap. The first learning was bridge the data to business gap. Closing the gap between the business to data, associating our technical metadata with business context increases the value of data. This also creates a collaborative environment and forum for domain experts and create those data therapy sessions, what I call it, where data is the topic of discussion. Trust your domain experts. Empower your people who are closest to the data to define its meaning and its quality. This will build trust and drive adoption. Creating tools and automations to remove the redundant work and have them spend their time most on data insights and data awareness and marketing your data. These domain experts can focus on education of the data and literacy as well in future, right? And lastly, I'd like to leave you all with saying that data governance is a team sport. Every role, from a data engineer to an analyst to a steward and all the line of business users, they all play a crucial role. So if the IT team, technology team can create space for them by automations and tools and technology, the governance will now become a team sport and can be very successful within an organization. I'd like to thank you all for spending your time with me today. I appreciate your presence here.